This is the Clark Connection Podcast, your weekly dose of inspiration and power. We'll dive deep into the stories and strategies that ignite personal growth and entrepreneurial fire. Join us as we empower you to take control, level up your leadership, and build the life you deserve. Get ready to rise, to thrive, and to finally become the leader of your own destiny. Let's go.
Welcome to the Clark Connection Podcast, where we dive into real stories of leadership, growth, and purpose. I'm your host, Aaron Clark, aka The Coach, and today's guest is a powerful example of what it means to pivot, grow, and lead with intention. Rustam Irani, that joins us to share his incredible journey from a civil engineer into working in the world of marketing and entrepreneurship. From the guidance of mentors to the strength of family's influence, Rustam's story is one of transformation, resilience, and purpose. In this episode, we talk about real challenges of building something from the ground up, the mindset required to succeed, and the often overlooked power of gratitude. Rustam also brings some hard-earned wisdom for leaders and aspiring entrepreneurs, including how to better understand and serve the people you lead. Now, before we dive in, though, I got to give a shout out to our premier sponsor, Vicki Hubbard with Hubbard Flooring Studios. Vicki and her team are masters at transforming spaces, laying down foundations of beauty and strength, just like the foundations we build in leadership. Whether you're looking to refresh your home or reimagine your workspace, Hubbard Flooring Studio has you covered from the ground up. You can visit them at their location on Boylan Avenue in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Give them a call at 225-924-1582 or explore their amazing work at hubbardflooringstudio.com. Remember, great leadership starts with a strong foundation, and Vicki and her team know exactly how to set that in place. Also want to give a shout out to Wayne with 7K Metals, see him for all your silver and gold needs. Bobbie with the Comfy Quest LLC, your destination for holistic healing and craniosacral therapy. Andrew with Automate Integrate Professional Services, bringing ease and efficiency to your business. Joseph with Landscape King, crafting beautiful outdoor spaces, 1 yard at a time. CNJ Embroidery, creating custom designs that make your brand pop. And look, we're so thankful and grateful for all your support. Make sure you check them out. And whenever you do call them, tell them the coach sent them their way. And if you've got questions or you're just simply looking to connect, fill out the form below. It's real quick. I'd love to hear from you. Whatever your questions may be, we'll probably bring them up on one of our episodes of Ask the Coach. And look, it's just right down below. And I will get back to you personally within 24 to 48 hours. Okay. Now, quick background about my friend Rustam. He is the CEO and founder of RGI Marketing and Consulting. He received his bachelor's in civil engineering and then went back to school. Decided, I really like this marketing thing. So he went and got his master's in business administration with a concentration in marketing and has been working in the field since 2008. And so look, guys, whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting your developmental journey, this episode is packed with practical wisdom that you don't want to miss. So make sure you grab something to write on and with, and let's dive in. And Rustam, welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you so much for having me here.
No, I appreciate you getting on, sharing your experience. Just telling everybody that you're the CEO of RGI Marketing and Consultant. And so just kind of quickly, what exactly do you guys do?
Sure. We're basically a full service marketing agency and consultancy. We focus in higher education. So we work with trade schools, career colleges, and even some private and public institutions, really nationally, and help them find the right types of students for their programs and their institutions. And so that's pretty much what we do.
Yeah, and I thought kind of that your story was pretty cool how you ended up in getting into the marketing world, because that isn't what you went to college for.
Yeah, that's right. So I tell people that I'm a recovering engineer, turned marketer, and my kids always kind of laugh about that as well. Like, Dad, aren't you an engineer, not a marketer? And I'm like, no, I do marketing now. Um, but yeah, my background actually is in civil engineering. So I did civil engineering at University of Florida, go Gators. But pretty quickly after that, I think it was about 8 months into it. I was the first of my good friends in college to graduate, right? I got the job. I got the paycheck now. And I traded in my car that would break down every like week, and I actually purchased a car. So it was like all great until I would sit there at my desk, and I had my computer. I had an office. I had a huge table where I had plans and everything. And my friends would be calling me on my little Nokia phone at my Nokia cell phone at 10:30 or 11 o'clock. Aaron, they would call me at 10:30 or 11 and say, "Hey, Rustam, like, what are you doing? We just got up. Here's what happened." I'm like, oh boy. I've been up working for the last 3.5 hours looking at these plans, making all these calculations and stuff. And I was like, am I really ready for the real world yet? So I decided to go back to school. I did my MBA with a concentration in marketing. And then kind of that is what catapulted me, into marketing. And that's where I really, kind of really focused on what that could look like. So yeah, it was an interesting transition, but I'll tell you, those 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock calls from my friends probably catapulted me into that direction.
Now, when you said 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, like 10 a.m. or
10 a.m., 11 a.m. when they were waking up, Aaron, while I was already at work since 7. Yes. Yep. Yeah, those were the days.
And so why because those are like two
Yeah.
completely different. Now, I will say where they're the similar is they're very detail oriented. People wouldn't think that if you're not familiar. That but that's like we're doing a lot of math we're just studying a lot of data and trying to be creative.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And so my background, besides like the engineering, so I always enjoyed the math side, but I also have a creative side to myself. My mom's an artist. She's an artist from growing up. She had an art gallery and frame shop in Delray Beach, Florida. So art was always kind of cool, and I always enjoyed it. I enjoyed drawing. And so for me, like, math, and especially in the early 2000s, so I'm talking like 99, 2000, 2001, like a lot of digital advertising was just coming to the forefront. I mean, you still had like banner ads all over the place, and Yahoo, and a lot of these other Lycos and a lot of these other old search platforms, right? And so that was always very interesting to me. And so I just felt like marketing had that ability for me to use my kind of math background, and I enjoyed the math side of it, but also be creative. And so that's where I kind of really took an interest to it. And then when I was taking my classes, I saw that. And so that was really, really cool. And that's what kind of drew me to it.
And that is cool. So I didn't realize that. So your mom had her own shop. So was she the first entrepreneur in the family?
No, she wasn't. My dad was actually. Yeah, so my dad had a air conditioning and refrigeration and electrical business. So that's what he did, and he had that probably about 20, 25 years until he passed away. But he loved that job. He worked 7 days a week, 12-hour days. And on Saturdays, I was out with him. I have 2 other brothers. And so we all took turns with him on Saturdays. That was our day to go out and help him. So, I can do a few things around the house, although my wife will tell you that's not the case. But
I mean, why when you can just pay somebody else to do it, right? And they'll do it the right
uh,
way. And if they don't, you just get them to come back and fix it.
I hear you. But growing up in that environment, Aaron, I tend to try to think I can fix things, even though I probably can't fix all of it.
Right. And your dad was smart. Let me throw the young one up into the hot attic and into the small crevice. Now,
That was exactly it. Yep. Go get me this out of the van. Go to the attic, feed this wire. I mean, I could tell you how many attics I went in and how many wires I fed, Aaron. Yeah, it was, and they were 12-hour days, right? We would leave 7:30 in the morning and come home 7:30, 8 o'clock at night on Saturday, while my friends were watching cartoons Saturday morning. I was out with my dad. But honestly, that was probably the most amazing experience when I look back at it. Very, very grateful for those times with my dad and that opportunity.
I was just thinking that like it was probably more enjoyable than because I don't remember the cartoons I watched, but I always remember, go on work with dad on whenever, if it was after school or whatever.
100%.
Such a
Yeah.
great experience.
Such a great experience. And those memories, right? Those memories will always be there. So, yeah. And I still have some of his old tools and stuff like that. So that's kind of where it's really cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure he was always busy because, I mean, having an AC business, good night, especially in the South.
In Florida. Oh yeah. In Florida, South Florida. Yeah. He was always busy. He definitely, and that's where he was a little, I wouldn't say sad, but like, he was hoping one of his sons would kind of take the reins, but none of us did, unfortunately. Yeah, he always would say, like, look, this is an incredible business. Like, the industry and the work is always going to be there. Florida is a perfect spot for it. And he had a very loyal customer base. Yeah, that's just not the path we took. Yeah.
Well, and the being loyal to a business, I mean, that's a huge thing between customer and business, because good night. I was just thinking about like my AC guy, when he originally, or the first AC guy that we used retired, it was just like, oh my goodness, like, are there other people out there that do this work? He was like, well, yeah, here's my apprentice, use him. And so he's been our guy for 15 years. So I told him if he retires, I'm out of luck. None of my stuff better ever break again.
I'll tell you, the trust and everything is just so incredible. Like, I was surprised at my dad's funeral how many of his customers were there. Like, that's the impact, right? That's when you think about it, it's just like you don't realize, but they're like, hey, who the heck is gonna help? Who's gonna be? Because he was like a friend to so many of them, right? And I think that's, to me, even in business, right? When I think about my business, like, if you can build those types of relationships with your partners, with your clients, and so on, and really, the whole goal is to help each other, right? Grow, help each other, become successful, and create more opportunities for everybody. That's really kind of where it all boils down to, and like, having those types of relationships, I know that my dad did. Like, I think about that a lot when, working with our clients and kind of who we work with. Yeah.
I think it was Zig Ziglar who said, you help enough people get what they want and you'll get what you want.
100%.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so true. And help without, expectations. I think that's the other side of it, right? Genuinely help, right? Not worried about what you're going to get out of it. I can tell you, I've probably over the last 2 years or so, maybe 3 years since I've been out on my own, Aaron, and even before that, but since I've been out on my own, like, I feel like I'm a personal recruiter for some of my contacts and friends that I've known, and I've tried to help them get jobs wherever I can. I don't get paid for it. I'm not a recruiter. But I have the ability to do that. So to me, it's so rewarding, right? It has nothing to do with our business, but to me, it's just so rewarding to be able to do that and take that time. Those are the little things, right?
Hmm. I think that's why you end up in that people stay in the career college industry. That's in, so I'm sure that wasn't where you thought like, hey, I'm going to get a marketing job in the career college industry, but you just really fall in love with it because you're helping so many people that get somewhere that they couldn't get on their own.
It's I'll tell you, one of the most powerful, even if you're not in the industry, go to a graduation, for a career college graduation, anywhere, and they're all over the place. But man, I can tell you, speaking with students and graduates and even team members and employees of our school. I remember one admissions person. I never met him before. We were just started talking, and he's like, "Man, when I come to these things, like my fuel is on E, right?" He's like, "My fuel is on empty, but I come to this thing and I'm like, boom, charged back up to full, and I'm ready to go." And he was just so passionate and excited about it. He didn't have to be there. He came because it was just such a big, rewarding recharge for him because he saw the impact, right? And it goes even beyond what you see there. Like it's a ripple effect through the community, through all of those things. So I think that is absolutely such a rewarding kind of place to be for sure.
No, I agree. I tell any of my students and people that I work with Delta College that, the graduation is my second favorite day at Delta College. My first favorite is whenever I hear that they got the job, because that's what they're there for. They're there to get a job, to start a career, and not to come pay whoever money. But the graduation is just so rewarding that, because like you said, you get there and you're like, golly, I just got beat up all day today. And then, here, these people, they're excited. They did something that they didn't think they could do. And now they're doing it, and they're going out and just hearing I'm the first person to graduate college in my family. And when you ask them, like, okay, so do you mean like out of your mom and dad and your siblings? And they're like, no, like none of my grandparents, none of my cousins finished. And they're going to go finish school now. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's why I do it.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, guys, if you like what you've heard so far, if you've enjoyed it, make sure that go hit like, subscribe, follow the show. That this is going to help us to continue bringing about great guests like Rustam. And tell us a little bit about your story. Like, are you working in that field that maybe you started off in? Is life taking you where you want to go? Or maybe even just a question you might have for us later on. And so, Rustam, I want to get into a little bit now. So you just graduated. You were telling us more through the story. You're in marketing. How did you get into the career colleges?
Yeah, that's a great question. So back in 2008, I was actually doing some consulting. And one of the clients that I was consulting with was a digital marketing agency. And so that was where I really got deep into digital marketing, Google, kind of all of it, email, everything. But our largest client at the time was a school in education, was ITT, right? So that was quite some time ago. But that was where I first started to really get exposure to higher ed and education. And so from then on, that was again our largest client at that agency. And so just from there, it became really impactful for me. And I kind of followed that path through my career with that background.
Yeah, and I guess that was about the time the whole digital marketing really started picking up, huh?
Yeah, I would say, 2000s, late 2000s. That's where like there was just so much of everything happening at that time. I could tell you, and not all of it was great. There was just so much happening. There was a lot of challenges with credit card fraud. There were so many things going on. But to me, it was such a great opportunity to really just get thrown into the trenches of it and learn all of it. And I did. I soaked it in, and I really am grateful for that. It was just such a great experience.
Yeah, because I know I did a little bit of marketing as we were getting coming through and going. I remember thinking, I was like, wow, this has got to be the funnest, easiest job ever. You just either put it in the newspaper or pick a station on TV or a radio station. Life is great.
Yeah.
It's not that anymore.
It's not, and it's only evolved. Like, now the reality is, like, there's just so many different tools and platforms that potential customers or students are on, right? They could be researching on Reddit, they could be looking at you on TikTok, they could get exposure through Facebook, Instagram, they could be looking at Google, they could even be searching you through ChatGPT and getting resources. Like, there's just more than ever, or listening to you on digital radio, Pandora or Spotify, or maybe even seeing your exposure on Hulu and other, now connected TV, right? So it's just the like, it's just expansive, so expansive now. Where and when and how, potential prospects or students or customers are kind of getting that exposure to brands. But yeah, back in the day, throw the billboard on, make sure you get the direct mail pieces out, and make sure you've got the ads where it needs to be in whatever magazines and so on. So yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the magazines.
Yeah, oh yeah, the magazines. Yes, absolutely.
Man, that it really was like, wasn't that difficult. The most difficult thing I thought was, and the thing that I enjoyed the most at was the negotiation between you and whoever the vendor was.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
like, no, I'm not paying you $100 for that 30-second spot. I'll only pay you 70 or what. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
they said they're going to pay me 120. Well, I'm not paying more than 70. They can have it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just it's evolved. I mean, even back then, there were a lot of different a lot of different methods and a lot of different options. But um, like, it just, and that's what I love, honestly, about marketing is it's constantly evolving. Like, you've got to constantly stay on top of this stuff. Even today, and now, like, a lot of people are saying, like, SEO is changing and it's moving to geo, and how AI is kind of impacting all of that. And it's like, I've been through so many of these transitions, and it's exciting, honestly, to stay on top of this stuff.
And it's moving super fast right now. Like,
It's moving super, yeah.
the AI, I had no idea. I mean, I guess it was a year and a half, 2 years ago. I was like, that's whatever. To now,
Mhm.
it's like, if you're not using AI, why? Are
Mhm.
you still
Yeah,
under a rock?
yeah.
What's going on?
It's true, and my usual kind of litmus test is if my kids are using it, right? And
Mhm.
so, and if my mom understands also. So it's like the two sides of it, right? I look at the two extremes. I'm like, all right, are my kids talking about it, and is my mom talking about it, right? So you're looking at 80 and you're looking at 20, like. Yeah, and if they're both kind of aware of it and talking about it, something's going on here, because that's that full spectrum. Um, but yeah, I mean, the cool thing is, like, my daughter, the way she uses ChatGPT for research, both of them, pretty awesome. If they have a question about a math problem, they're just ChatGPT, and it kind of tells them what they're doing wrong, and so on. It's just awesome. Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh, it is. And I do that too. If we get some creative in or something, and they're like, oh, it's going to be great. I'm like, cool. Hey, 18-year-old, what do you think about this? I ain't watching that. Hey, it's no good. I'll walk down the hall to the students. Hey, what do y'all think about this? Oh, that's
yeah,
garbage. No, wow.
yeah,
Oh, no, that's awesome. You should do it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Go straight
Yeah.
to my current clients.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
And so you were working as a consultant, like for or with another firm. They got you with ITT, and then how long were you there working in that role? Because I thought I remember you saying you actually then went and did marketing for one of the colleges.
Yeah, so I was there for a few years, and then I pivoted over where I went over to Ultimate Medical Academy, national school, training students in allied health. And so I was there from 2012 to about 2018, and that was just an incredible experience as well. Very grateful for that experience. Amazing leadership, incredible institution, vision driven, mission driven, and really put the student at the forefront of every decision we made. So that was a really, really amazing experience. But that's where I dove into that side where I was heading up all the digital marketing efforts there and ultimately the marketing.
Nice. And so you finished there. And so what was it that got you ultimately then to say, all right, I'm going to go out on my own. I can do this for me.
So in 2022, I was working for an outsourced program management company, an OPM, and we basically worked with schools and universities to help them take their programs online. Um, and I was there, and we had a personal we had something personal happen in the family that was pretty serious, and that made me realize and recognize that I needed to be there more for the family, be able to take care of some things that I had to. And so that point in time when that had happened, that gave me gave me basically the decision to like, okay, I cannot put in the full time anymore at this role. I need to step back and just kind of take care of family first. But in the meantime, I always had this vision of what I could do if I were to go out on my own, and so those both kind of came together, and so I was able to really put family first and take care of those things, but also start to build the business. So that was kind of the transition that took me there.
Gotcha. And so it was hey, I'm needing my free time, needing my personal time. I was saying, I see you got the boss now there, making sure you're doing your work.
Yeah, she does what she wants. Sorry about that.
Oh, all good. I was like, it was nice. I was like, I love
Yeah.
that. So,
Okay.
so
Yeah, she's my work buddy. She usually sits right at the desk with me and just stares out the window at every animal that goes by. So anyways,
nice.
hopefully she'll move.
Eventually, if not, welcome to the show.
There you go. Just making a guest appearance.
They're giving us a cameo.
All right. Let me pull her down.
No, it wouldn't bother me at all. But and so it was to try to get some of that free time, that flexibility a little bit more. And so, what would you say was the toughest thing about getting started?
There's always that risk factor. There's always that doubt, and loss of security, right? You go from getting a paycheck every 2 weeks to now not having that. That is not easy. Health insurance, like all of those other things that are there. And then, you hear a lot of people who have struggled. You hear the stories about how, whatever it is, I think 90% of businesses don't last past 3 years or something like that, right? Like there's all these different things and when you're in that situation and in that moment, those are the things that's like resonate with you and are like loud. But so that's probably the most difficult thing is just kind of that self-doubt, that self-belief, that you have the skill set. You've been doing this for a long time. Like, believe in yourself. And so that was the biggest thing, I think, on my end. And fortunately, I had a lot of support from family. I had an amazing wife that supported me through this. I kind of tried to drown out that noise and just focus on my why.
Yeah. And I think that's one that is huge that you said, is having that confidence, that to be able to overcome that self-doubt, because it creeps into all of our heads. And I don't care if it's you're starting your own business or you're starting to lead a big company or moving to a new role, that management, et cetera, it hits us all. And so what are some of the things that you do or did, I guess, because I'm assuming you probably still do it, but to overcome that self-doubt?
Yeah, I think is surround myself with positive people, people that I've known for years, people that believed in me and have seen what I've been able to do. I try to engage with as many of those people as possible. That kept my drive moving and that kept my confidence up. Um, you know, that I think is the biggest thing, is surround yourself with people that are going to be cheering you on and really pushing you forward. And that was, I think, the key on my end. I had a couple mentors that believed in me, that always encouraged me, grateful for that. And then I had a really amazing supportive family that believed in me as well.
Right. And I think that's one that a lot of people don't take into account with starting the business. I'm assuming that I know that you and your wife have two. That was it, two or three?
Two girls.
Two girls.
Two girls. Yep.
And that's why I was like, I know they're both in college, or one just graduated and the other.
Both juniors. One's in college. One's in high school still.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mixed it up. But
Yeah, right.
so y'all been together a while. And I'm assuming that's something you sat down and said, "Hey, sweetheart, I'm gonna quit my job. What do you think?" And
Yeah, absolutely. And so, look, my wife, this isn't the first time, right? And when I was consulting, I was on my own. This was back, 2007. And so, she's always been supportive. She knows, like, my drive has always been to kind of control my destiny, right? And to control my deliverables and control kind of that. And so, she's always been very supportive of that, and has known my background, right? Both my parents had businesses, so I've always just been driven on that side. So she's always been very supportive. But also she's a realist. Like, if something isn't, she's like, listen, do you really want, because at one time I was looking at franchises. She's like, do you really want to do this? And I was like, okay, maybe you're right, And I say, oh, look at all these great things. Look at all these, it's like growing and this and that. She's like, yeah, but do you really want to do that every single day? And I was like, you know what? You're right. Maybe I don't want to do that. So I love the fact that she knocks me down as well, brings me back to earth, when I'm kind of way up here.
yeah,
So,
but I mean, we need that. We need that in this
100%. Absolutely.
Having that partner to be able to say, "Hey, you got this," or do you really want to do that every single day? I like that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, I'll tell you, like, at one point, I don't remember when this was. This was maybe late 2000s or so. There was 1-800 Got Junk is a franchise, right? And they junk removal franchise, and somehow they got to, like, I saw them. Maybe it was in an Entrepreneur magazine. And I was like, this is interesting, and they were looking for somebody in our area. And then that's when my wife's like, listen. This seems great and all of that's there, but, like, think about it for a second. You really want to do that? And I was like, all right, you're right. She's like,
I
good.
don't want to go collect other people.
And nothing wrong with it. Trust me, nothing wrong, because you're running a business, right? At the end of the day, you're not, but still. So yeah, 100%. We need that. Absolutely. We need that. And I've had that, which I'm very, very thankful and grateful for.
Yeah. And then you mentioned you had some mentors in your life. What role have they played in your growth as that person, leader, that business owner?
Yeah. So again, it all goes back to belief. I'll tell you, one of the biggest, most impactful moments in my life was, when I was doing my MBA, and I was taking marketing courses. I was working for an engineering firm at that time, and the CEO said, "Hey, Rustam, like we don't have a marketing plan. We barely have a website. Like you're taking these classes. Can you build us a marketing strategy and a marketing plan and put all that together for us?" And like, this is a CEO of an engineering company coming to one of the newest hires, right? And saying that and empowering me and giving me the belief like that he believes in me to be able to do something like that. That was amazing, right? And that's where I actually did. I put together a full marketing. I did SWOT analysis. I did everything and under the sun out of my books. I literally was reading, learning this stuff and implementing it in the real world. Most incredible experience. The fact that he empowered me, he believed in me, and he trusted me to execute on that stuff. I mean, how much more of a lift do you need than that, right? That's something that I remember as such a small gesture from his end. I don't think he realized how impactful that was for my career, and I'm very thankful. But that's just one, example. I've got so many more examples of people who have really made such a huge impact because A, they believed in me. And B, they empowered me to kind of fail and learn and try things. Right. And for me, that's one of the biggest kind of leadership lessons that I've learned is to try to allow people to empower them to fail, to learn, to try things. Right. If they put the effort and they're going to figure it out. Some may need a little more guidance than others, but that's okay. But yeah, I would say that was just that's such a incredible moment for me.
It sounds like and I agree. I tell everybody, that mentors are friends, and then there's somebody that believes in you. They're the people you can call at 2 a.m. They go pick up the phone and be like, "All right, seriously, Aaron, relax. You're gonna live through this. I'm going back to
Yeah,
bed."
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And so they kind of, as we're getting towards the end of time,
yeah,
like one I'll always like to ask, and talk about is because I believe all leaders are readers. Not all readers are leaders, but if you're going to be a leader, you're a learner. You're constantly looking for ways to grow yourself. And so, what is one book that you would recommend to any that leader, entrepreneur, business owner, anything like that?
sure. There's a book that actually I don't know if too many people have heard of. It's called Leadership and Self-Deception, and it's by the Arbinger Institute. Um, and basically, the idea behind this is a lot of times we put ourselves in a box where we believe that we are trying to do the best for other people, right? Based on our beliefs. Like, I believe, Aaron, that you need these things and that's going to make you better. But the reality is that because I feel that that's going to make an impact on you? And do I really understand what your needs are? Right. And that's taking yourself out of the box and giving you the ability to tell me where you're at, what your needs are, and what your true intentions are. Right. And, there's simple examples of this. Like, even when, if you ever been on a plane, right, and you go and you see two family members that are sitting apart and you have a seat there, would you trade them for a middle seat? Because their little 7-year-old kid is sitting by themselves, or would you not? And so, like, what is your true intention as a leader? Are you doing it for yourself? Is there other self motivations? Is it going to help you get the promotion if your team is stronger? Is it going to help you out? Or are you truly being cognizant and aware of what the other person wants, what's their true. People cutting you off on the road, are they having a bad day? Is there some issue there, right beyond that? And so I think that goes back to self-awareness, right? Which is like just being aware of like that there's other things out there that are happening that are beyond you. And so that's what the book is really about, is like, as a leader, making sure that, when you are pushing initiatives forward, you're truly, truly considering the other person's understanding and belief, not just what you think they need or want.
And you said that was Leadership and Self-Deception.
Leadership and Self-Deception, yeah, by the Arbinger Institute. It's a really good book. It gets you to think. It gets you to think like, hey, am I doing this for me, or am I truly doing this for other people, right? And a lot of times we don't want to admit it, and I've caught myself too. I'm like, hey, what's in it for me? And I've got to like step back and say, okay, is that really the question I should be asking here, right? It's just kind of, yeah. So it really makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're making me pick my feet up off the ground, starting to step on some toes, Rustam.
Yeah.
Getting deep into it. I love it. It's going on my list to put down to read now.
It's a good book, and it's not long. It's a great book. I have it up there somewhere. But yeah.
And then what about like maybe something that you're either had just finished reading or currently reading?
Yeah, another one that I'm reading right now, and it's not. There's two of them. They're not so much leadership, but The Psychology of Money. That's one I'm reading. That's all about just kind of understanding money, the importance of it, and so on, to somebody. And then the other one is called Get Scalable by Ryan Deese, and that's really building kind of a business with operations and systems in it, allowing kind of for better deliverability to clients, and then also for making it scalable, making your business to where it can be scalable and efficient.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was one of the things that made McDonald's successful, was the system.
100%.
Oh,
yeah.
And I think it's important, though, like you said, for us as leaders and everybody to study, how does money work? How do you make money operate? Because while money may not be the most important thing, it does rank right up there with oxygen. You need it to get stuff done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So now, what is, and the last question I like to ask everybody is, what is one question that I should have asked you that I didn't ask you?
Yeah, Aaron. I would say if there was one question, is like, what one thing or bit of advice would you give, to anybody out there if they're thinking about kind of upping their leadership skills, or just even kind of living a bit more of a fulfilled life, and just making more out of every day. And to me, I call it, the snooze, the 9-minute snooze. And so, the 9-minute snooze of gratitude. And so every single morning, my iPhone, I have a 9-minute snooze on it, right? So when I hit snooze, it counts down for 9 minutes. And what I do in that 9 minutes while that snooze goes off until it goes off again is I'm basically reciting in my head everything I'm grateful for. Every single bit of whatever I can think that I'm grateful for. It could be a comfortable bed, it could be air conditioning, it could be my family, it could be whatever it is. But that's the first thing I do every single morning. And I'll tell you, since I've been doing that for the last, 5-6 years, I can definitely feel, even some of the hardest challenges come to put in perspective, right? I'm able to put them in perspective. So I would say, like, if there's one thing on my end that's been very impactful, besides my cat Smokey, has been the fact that, I take the time every morning as the first thing I do to recite what I'm grateful for. And I think that's just been so hugely impactful, because all the other things, all the noises, all the other stuff we go through during the day, like, the bottom line is we're alive, right? You and I are here. We're here today, and we are very blessed to have that opportunity to have another amazing day, right, on Earth. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, no, and it's hard to be mad and grateful at the same time, or upset
it's
at the same
that's
time.
that's absolutely an amazing point, Aaron. 100%. Yeah, try being grateful, right, that you have food today and that you're healthy, and also be mad, right? Like, hey, I'm mad because they gave me no fries with my meal. When I asked for fries, they forgot to put the fries. Okay, well, you have fries, right? And it's difficult. Trust me, it's not easy. It's not a perfect thing. I also have to remind myself of that at times. But if you start with that in the morning, I think it makes it easier throughout the day.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, Rustam, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, how do the folks that listen to the show reach out to you?
Yeah, just Rustam at rgiconsulting.net. Just email me. I'm pretty active LinkedIn profile as well. It's just Rustam Irani. I don't know if there are too many others out there. I mean, those are kind of the main ways to connect with me, and happy to talk through anything. Grateful to just kind of build my network and meet people.
Right. And guys, I'm going to stick all that. It's going to be down below in the descriptions. You'll have access to click on those links, take you right there. Go connect with Rustam. He's a phenomenal guy that will do anything for anybody.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you taking some time and joining us. And I know we'll definitely stay in touch.
Absolutely, Aaron. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it as well.
All right. Enjoy a good one.
You too.
What an inspiring conversation with Rustam Irani. Look, his journey reminds us that success isn't always in a straight line. It's often built through pivots, challenges, and the people we surround ourselves with. If you're navigating a career shift, building a business, or just trying to grow as a leader, take a moment to reflect on Rustam's insight, from embracing gratitude to staying open to mentorship. His story is a blueprint for suitable personal and professional growth. And so if you're watching on YouTube or any other streaming services, about to put up my top 5 takeaways from today's episode. So the first one was, your path does not have to be linear. And Rustam, he thought he wanted to go into civil engineering. He talked about really loved math, but he just enjoyed the creative side and the data analysis of marketing. Second, he mentioned that mentorship and family influence matter. You've got to have somebody who's helping you to push you to grow. Third, relationships drive results. He really talked about how important his relationships were with his father, with his spouse, and those around him, and those who are on his team. He really talked about that importance. Fourth, he talked about gratitude being a leadership tool, and how whenever you're feeling down, take you a gratitude walk. Then make sure you're talking about and writing down, what are you grateful for? Then lastly, know your people. Again, Rustam takes pride in knowing what his customers want and what those people that he worked with, they want. And listen, just like building a great team takes intentionality and precision, building a great space, that does too. And that's why we're proud to be sponsored by Vicki and her crew at Hubbard Flooring Studios. If you're ready to upgrade your home or office with a top-notch flooring and service, give Vicki and the team a call at 225-924-1582 or visit hubbardflooringstudio.com. And if you found value in this episode, make sure you share it with a friend or a colleague or a family member who's passionate about learning, leadership, and growth. And if you haven't done it yet, leave us a review. Make sure you subscribe, because you never miss a conversation that could change the way you lead. And if you're ready to take that next step in your leadership journey, connect with me on all socials at Coach_A_Clark. I'd love to walk with you as you develop yourself as a person and a leader. And remember, guys, you don't need to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So keep leading, keep growing, and keep innovating. Until next time, stay inspired and connected, and I'll see you on the next episode of Clark Connection Podcast. Thanks for listening to the Clark Connection Podcast, where my goal is to add value to you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow the show. You can also connect with me via my website, coachaclark.com, or on all socials at coach_a_Clark. The links are in the description. Huge thanks to my sponsors, Wayne with 7K Metals, Bobbie with the Comfy Quest LLC, Andrew with Automate Integrate Professional Services, Joseph with Landscape King, and Chris and Jess with CNJ Embroidery. And we look forward to bringing you more great content. See you next week.